Welcome to Roll With It, your RHL Inline Roller Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Such Chan. We're up to episode number 7, the start of the RHL 2019 winter season, already underway. Going to go back and look at the week 1 results, give you some analysis there as well too. And also later on in the show, we're going to have an interview with Lynna Nguyen, longtime roller player. She's been playing with us for about 2 years now. When we moved to Puck, playing with the Capitals and the Gwendolyn team, the Young Guns as well too. So have Lynna here to talk about her experience. Let's get started with the 2019 RHL winter season. Week 1 was underway. We had 8 teams in action. We have 9 teams total, but 1 team gets a bye. That was the Blades of Steel, so we'll see them this coming up Monday. But the game started on Monday with action with 4 sets of games. D1 action, first game on tap. Let's go actually to D2 first. First game on tap was a D2 game. It was Little Big Man against the Wheelers. Pretty good game, I thought, on paper, and it turned out to be a great game as well, too. 1-goal affair, back and forth, and the late goal by Jeff Babb, the difference maker. Wheelers had a lead most of the game, hung tough with their new old goalie, Mazier Fezbike, back in the nets, playing well for them. He gave a soft goal early on, though. Fez gave, I think, 1 softie early on, which he got rasped by his former teammates and players, and Pat Riley as well, too, who was watching the game, watching his wife, G, play. But he found his form back again. It was a good game. At the end of the day, the Little Big Men rallied for 2 goals late, and they were able to pull this out in the second half with a 4-3 win and a goal by Jeff Babb. Shout out to Sophie Jablonski in her official debut. She got a goal. Congratulations to Sophie on that accords. And the player of the game was David Boyer for Little Big Man with 2 goals and 2 assists. On the Wheelers side, goals each from Daniel Bortnick, Chris Ships as well, and I believe it was Peter Goff with the goal as well too. So great game in that regards for the Wheelers as well too. It was a very competitive game. Their first game without Kyle. Game number 2 that we had on Monday, I believe, was also a let's see here, double check here. It was actually a D2 game as well too. The D2 game started off the night. It was the Hurricanes against the Capitals, the Stanley Capitals. And the Hurricanes were victorious in this game, pretty handily, 9-2. New goalie, Tim Longo, spending time with Dennis Jimenez in nets for the Hurricanes. He made his debut, looked very good. Wasn't really tested too much by the Capitals, but played pretty well. And he only gave up 2 goals. And the Hurricanes scored 9 times, so their offense is back. Dennis Owen obviously leading the parade with goals. But not only Dennis Owen this time around, we had goals from Dan Barber. Dan Barber picked up 2 goals. He's scoring goals now. Paul Dawkins had a goal. Ben Payette had 3 assists to go with his 1 goal, power play goal. Nick Berry had a goal, so the goal scoring was spread out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different goal scorers for the Hurricanes, showing their depth there as they went on to beat out the Capitals 9-2. Chris Hans playing in goal. Officially now for the Capitals, played well actually. Faced a lot of shots, played well. Nothing to be ashamed about there. The 2 goals from the Capitals came from Dan Knight. There you go. So that was the D2. Other game we had in D2, the Hurricanes won 9-2. Now we go to D1. In D1, it was the High Rollers against the Rough Riders in the season opener for both teams. And here's a situation I want to make sure we understand here. High Rollers are about to forfeit this game. They were short a lot of players. They emailed me. They did all they could to make sure we knew that they were short. And decision, our league decision process is pretty simple. If you let us know ahead of time, we'll try to get you subs. We want to avoid forfeit at all cost. And Matt Morgan let me know as soon as he knew. And I worked with Matt and got skaters for him, and we were able to actually get a team together for them to play the game. So we want to avoid forfeits at all costs. In a situation where a team is missing a lot of players, we have what we call a 1-point win on the line. The game is still competitive. The team that's missing, if at least they don't have at least 3 skaters, and or they have less than 50% of the skaters they do have playing from their own roster, then that team can only go for a 1-point win. So we want to make sure that you have at least enough rostered players to get the full win. So in this case, the High Rollers had 2 skaters of their own. They had their goalie, but they had 4 subs. So this was not a potential 2-point win for them. They only can get 1 point for a win. and we actually reward the other team, the Rough Riders, with at least guarantee them at least 1 point. The reason we do this is because, again, is to avoid forfeits and to encourage both teams to come out and play and have competitive games, and to encourage sportsmanship in this case as well too. No one wants to be a part of a forfeit. At the same time, we want to have competitive games, but to make it fair, the Rough Riders will get a point because they actually had their full roster and the High Rollers did not. So it was a great game. A 5-4 win for the High Rollers, a tremendous game. They were able to save a point because they actually did follow through and get enough players through me into the league to have a game in place. They got a win on the standings. They got 1 point for that. And the Rough Riders played very, very well. It was a great game to watch, great game to officiate, back and forth. And as a result, they get 1 point for allowing that to occur. So a win on the standings, but 1 point to each team, in this case, per our special RHL rule, DCHL leagues rule we have in place to basically monitor situations out there. So the game itself, the goals were scored from the High Rollers. It came from, let's see here, 2 goals for Dan Knight, 2 assists. Patrick Riley subbing in, had a goal and assist. Kevin Klimzak, only an assist, didn't score a goal here. Matt Krause had a goal. And then Bagley subbing in had a goal as well too. So they were able to get 2 late goals to pull it out. It looked like there that the Rough Riders were able to score late to win this game, but the High Rollers came back and won the game on Dan Knight's late goal. On the Rough Riders side, 2 goals and assists for Dan Ridings, who's back. Rob Young, the goalie, playing out, got 2 goals for them as well too. That's where the 4 goals came from. Excuse me. So basically, a great game that came down to the wire, and 5-4 were the victors for the High Rollers with a diminished squad and a 1 point win for them. The final game of the night was the debut of the Eminence Front, the D1 team, against the That's What She Said defending champions in D1. And as expected, it's going to take a little while for the Eminence Front to get their players joined together. I thought they played well. They had chances to score goals. They could have scored 4 or 5 goals. But Mazahir Fezbaik, the goalie for the That's What You Said, had a great game. He stopped everything. So the score was a little misleading. The final score was 8-0. All the goals came from That's What You Said. However, I thought it could have been like a 9-4, 9-3 game or 8-3 game. Fez played outstanding, and Eminence Front had some shots. They just couldn't finish. And obviously, new team, they're missing some players. Eric Robles coming in, who's going to be very good, I'm told. John Fisher hasn't made his debut yet. Adam Berger is hurt, so once those guys come from Eminence Front, I expect them to score more goals. Jeff Stracker's a top goalie. He played very well on net for the Eminence Front. But in this case, it was a debut loss for them, and goals scored from That's What She Said. Here we go. As expected, we got 3 goals from Kevin Klimzak, no assists, no surprise there. Chuck Warner, the player of the game, with 3 goals and 2 assists. And Patrick Riley had a goal as well, and Evan had a goal as well, too. And Fetz earned that shutout. He did earn that shutout. That was a 21-save shutout. Earned that shutout, so there you go. Those are the results from Week 1. Pretty competitive games. Eminence Front needs to work on some stuff, but they'll get there. Capitals give up a few more goals they probably wanted to, but again, they'll get there as well, too. So I think we're in good shape here as well. Next week, we'll have games going on, and the team on the bye next week is the Wheelers. So we'll see Blades of Steel in action next week in their debut. And just to remind everybody that's watching this podcast that we play next week, Monday, it's Monday the 17th, I believe. Yes, 17th. And then we have 2 weeks off. We don't play the 24th, Christmas Eve. We don't play on New Year's Eve, the 31st. So the podcast and the league will take 2 weeks off. Enjoy your break. But before you go away, though, we're not done yet. Let's come back and talk to Lynna Nguyen from the Capitals, who's going to come in and join us after this break here, talk about her roller experience and how it feels to play ball hockey versus roller hockey, how she got started, and her favorite team as well, too. So don't go away. I'm back with Lynna here momentarily on your RHL podcast. Roll with it. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Roll With It, your RHL podcast, episode number 7. And joined now by our special guest for the segment, Lynna Nguyen. Lynna, welcome to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
Lynna, one of our favorite female players that play in ball hockey league, also plays in RHL as well too. Lynna, tell me how you got involved in the RHL. How'd you get involved in roller hockey?
Well, I actually started when I was in grad school. I saw a newsletter in like what we were at the University of Maryland. We saw a newsletter to do like a pickup league. So my husband GM and I started doing that while I was in grad school, and then I stopped for a couple of years, and then I actually found out about Silver Spring, the Gwendolyn playing in Silver Spring. So I went and played there, and then within like a week or two, David mentioned that you were starting or you had a roller league going. I was like, I should just do that, but they happened to fall on the same night, so I stopped going to Gwendolyn and started playing roller hockey with my husband. So.
And you got involved because I think your husband is probably the one who plays more. Is that correct? Am I correct on that, Jean-Michel?
We actually started playing at almost the same time in school. While we were in school, he just picks it up a lot better than I do in terms of skating, at least. But yeah, I've been actually the one forcing him to go.
Okay, that's good. Now, where did your background in roller? You just used to skate before when you were younger? I mean, how did you get involved in roller? You just get involved in roller in general?
No, I mean, the only thing I could do when I was a kid was stay vertical, sort of. So I really started, I guess, in 2014. And even by the time I stopped, because we stopped living near College Park and stopped going to the pickups, I wasn't that good of a skater then.
Wait a minute, so you started skating in 2014?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, that's pretty good. And you've become a pretty good skater. So just tells people out there, hey, never get too late to get started out there. So that's awesome. Quick question. You said College Park pickup. I know there's a gentleman who actually emailed me about a couple of years ago. We started RHL. Name of Sam Jablonski. He, I believe, had a. Do you know Sam?
Yeah, we played with him.
He's the guy that started to pick up there at College Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there were definitely other teams playing also still consistently. But Sam started it for the University of Maryland students.
Yeah, he had emailed me about joining a league here, but the way the schedule worked out, with being at school, never had time for a team together in our league. But also now his sister, his sister is Sophie, and she joined our league, and now she's playing. And one of her friends is now joining Blades of Steel. So, and now we're getting more women involved in our league as well too. But we'll get that topic. Let's talk about ball hockey. You started with ball hockey through Gwendolyn. You are one of our mainstays in both the DCHL and MDHL league as well too. Was ball hockey something you learned to play after roller, or something you've already played before?
Yeah, I've never played hockey, so I actually first started out playing roller, which made it way more difficult if you can't skate, which is why I had a lot of fun picking up floor hockey, because I already knew how to like run, stop, and turn around. It makes it a lot easier. So that's why I play a lot of games, and there's actually more games in ball hockey too. So
yes, more teams, more games as well too. Now we play with a ball in ball hockey. You run different muscle groups, obviously running. Then you also, in roller, you play with a puck, and you use different muscle groups to skate. Well, before we ask what your favorite is, tell me the difference between those two. How do you prepare to play ball versus roller, and the nuances between playing both different sports?
It's really interesting because when we played in College Park, we were playing with a ball on roller skate. And I know Sophie and JP, who just joined Blades of Steel, right? They're getting used to that transition because they've never played with a puck really. So it just like rolls a lot less, bounces a lot less, and it's harder for me to lift. But I find it easier in terms of like interception because I feel like the path is more direct. Like there isn't going to be some weird anomaly, like some tape that bounces it like off to some odd corner,
Understood. Which do you prefer, ball or roller right now? I mean, obviously, tough question to ask out there, but if you had a choice, which would you take?
I do really, really like roller, which is really interesting because I feel I'm a lot more consistent performer in ball and floor when I'm running. But like I feel like I've improved a lot, I think, in floor hockey, and I feel like it's slowly, incrementally changing my abilities in roller because now like I know where I'm supposed to be. I just need to physically get there, and it's a lot harder for me to do that on skates than when I'm just running.
That's a good point. Roller we play 4-on-4. Ball hockey we play 5-on-5.
So that
You have to skate, obviously, and it's a question of physically being able to get to where you want to get to. Well, in ball you have time. When you're running, you have time to figure out hockey. What I call hockey IQ. Get to where you got to do forecheck, make plays as well too. So that's a great point in difference between playing ball and roller. Now you play with your husband Jean Michel. What is it like to play with him? And I know you also brought him into the ball hockey league as well too. Eventually, so he started playing ball hockey for the Street Sharks. So tell me about being able to play with your partner in a sport that you like.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. We both I don't remember what position he started playing at, but we both started playing defense together. So on Street Sharks, we would actually be on the same line, which is actually really good because then it's easier. Because I know communication is key, but it's easier when it's someone you're really used to communicating with. So we would just yell at each other and be like, "No, you go over there," and like you stick with that person. And it's a lot easier to make that transition when you're like switching sides on D when you're on the same line. So it's been fun.
Awesome. Now Jean Michel, I believe, and now he's playing forward, right? I mean, now when he played ball, he went to forward, and he's become a pretty good forward in the ball.
Yeah.
His game has grown a lot better in
Mhm.
ball hockey after like one season, so he's become one of the better rec players out there. So, so now he's playing forward, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? I've seen you play D. I've seen you play offense. Which do you prefer? I think you could play offense. You can also play as D as well too. But if you had your choice in ball, which would you prefer? Play.
I prefer D. I feel like it's easier for me to figure out where the play is happening because I can see everything all at the same time because I'm usually just further back. I'm also when I play offense, I tend to play a pretty conservative far back offense, and I don't crash the net nearly as much as I should, and I know I'm supposed to, but I don't know. And it's harder when you play a couple games and you switch between O and D. I kind of get confused about what role I'm playing, and so it's confusing. So maybe if I played O all like the 2 games that I played, I would have a better.
Now on roller, there is a you do swap positions. There's
Mhm.
no you rotate. So in roller, what do you prefer? Do you always play? I mean, do you just rotate along with the rotation, or do you prefer to play up front or in the back?
I actually have been rotating a lot because there are a lot of like my teammates have preferred positions, and I'm just okay with whatever I get. There are pros and cons to each. I'm not exactly good at. I don't have a strong shot, so it makes it a little bit harder when I am on O to do that, and I'm not very fast. So when we get breakaways, it's harder for me to actually do something with it. And on D, it's easier for me to see, but if they get a breakaway, it's difficult for me to get back to it. So
That's a
they're
good
pros and
point.
cons. I mean, like I know where it's supposed. Like on D, I know where it's gonna go. I just like can't always get there. And on O, like if I don't get there, it's going to be turned over pretty quickly. So.
Gotcha. Now, talking about roller in terms of the team you play with, you came in with the Gwendolyn Guns, if I recall correctly.
The Young Guns.
The
That
young
was
Guns.
yeah.
Originally was Gwendolyn Guns. Maybe it was changed to Gwendolyn later on. I apologize. It went from young to Gwendolyn or back to young again. That's when Matt D was in charge of the team as well too. So we had a lot of Gwendolyn players. That they're even though the Kales brothers are not from Gwendolyn, they're from Matt D's French background. So we called them the Gwendolyn team there for a while. That team in roller and RHL was one of the teams that are ideal team of rec players who just learn the game, join, want to have fun, weren't the greatest cares in the world. And kudos to all of you involved. All of you, Andrew, Anthony, Alex, yourself, and Matt have gotten so much better just playing the game, not worrying about wins and losses, and have improved so much out there. Tell me about your experience in a situation like that, where you're not going to be the most competitive team in the world, but you love playing, and you're able to develop skill sets with those guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun playing with them, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I still keep playing. I mean, I love playing, but being on their team has been a lot of fun. They're really nice guys, and I feel like they have the spirit of what a rec league should be.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're just all here learning and we just want to have fun. Like it, so that's been really fun that I've been able to stick with that team. I looked it up. I think I've been playing for almost 2 years with them.
Mm-hmm. That's
Um,
I think so. I think did you join? I'm not sure when you actually joined, but you joined when we went to Puck or we had
yeah,
ball.
right when you guys decided to go to Puck,
Yeah.
that's when I
Yeah.
joined. And I was a little bummed at first. I was like, I've never played with one of those either. But yeah, but it's been fun learning.
That's awesome, and that's one of the things that we like about the league as well too is players can learn, get better, and seeing you guys get better is a great thing. And
Yeah.
the fact that it is about it's competitive balance, but at the same time it's about having fun and getting better at the game and watching you guys play and not worry about the wins and losses is great for me personally too as well. Let's talk about RHL in general. Is this your first experience playing in a league format, RHL?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about, again, we always ask all our players that interview with us as well too. Tell me what you like, things you like about the league, and I think one of the things that I like is the close knit environment of players who help each other out. One of them actually, if I forgot about this, Lynna would always bake stuff when she had a chance. She would come out and bake cookies and cakes and other things as well too. She's the designated baker of RHL. Exactly the family atmosphere we have in Royal Hockey. So tell me about RHL, your experience in RHL, what you like about it, at the same time, things you would change if you could, and if you could.
I like that it's structured. We have refs, so we can keep the game going and not have like arguments about calls and like actually have some sort of structure in terms of timing. And that way it's consistent. And I always know when the game is and it's the same time every week and know that there's a set number of players that are going to show up and then you're actually going to have a game. Like there are times when you show up to go play and like there are like 3 people and you can't have a game that way.
Right.
I think my team is pretty good at attendance, and I know there are other teams that are also very good at attendance. So you always get to see like the same people, and you get to watch them grow. I've been, for example, Mark Milley. I also played with Mark Milley before in College Park. So I've seen him grow as a player and a skater too over the years. So that's been cool.
Yeah, Mark. If people don't know Mark, he's one of the players in RHL. Dan Ridings taking him under his wings. Dan Ridings from the Rough Riders. He said, I see a lot of Mark in me when I first started playing. So he put Mark on a D1 team, and he's helping Mark grow. And I love seeing that too. When you see a player that's just starting and learning, and instead of saying you should be in D2, Dan took him out on his team. So you know what? I'm gonna make him a D1 player. Give him the D1, and I love the attitude as well too. So Mark, again, one of the good guys are on as well too. So love seeing that grow as well. In terms of your team, the Stanley Capitals. What a horrible name, by the way. Very, very bad name. Love the Capitals are a team that now Andrew, Alex, and Jeff Orr captain as well too. I hear you guys are gonna get a new uniform. Is that correct?
Yes. We just ordered them, so I owe Alex money. I need to remember to do that. But that's exciting. It's actually our first set of jerseys together, which I guess we just never thought about doing. I don't know. Like I know a lot of teams do it.
Oh, they already have, or some teams already have jerseys they use. Exactly right.
Yeah. And for us, we just always had colors that I own, so I just never even thought about it. But it's cool. We didn't put the name on the jersey or the logo.
Okay. But the color, I believe, is what, Kelly Green. Is that correct? Kelly Green?
It is green. And I'm kind of glad the name's not on the jersey because that's not the name I would have voted for.
Excuse me. I'm with you on that one, too. The Capitals are a team that had some changes out there, obviously. Last season, your goaltender, Bill Enright, got hurt. He also plays both ball and roller as well, too. So Chris Hans stepped in as your goalie this season as well, too. Tell me about the team this season, your roster, and your thoughts about the team this year.
Yeah, I really like my team. I've played with a lot of them for a couple times. Like there's Kevin, who comes back and plays part-time.
Kevin Shatter, yes.
Yes, Chris took over being goalie. I know he really wanted to try it, so that's been fun to watch him. Wish I could support him more back there. But he's doing a great job, I think. And he's really good at communicating, telling us like if there's someone coming, if we should just clear it up the side, which side, around the back. He's really good at that. Who else is on my team?
Oh,
There's
I think you have Dan Knight part-time. Dan Knight is your one
yeah,
guy who scores goals for you. So you've got
yeah,
him.
he's really nice. He's very enthusiastic. I think he sees the play really well, so he can like tell us what to do.
He's a good mentor to learn from because he plays high-level D1 games as well too. And of course, the Kales brothers. I mean, those guys they're known in the league as players who started playing and now they become scorers. I mean, Anthony scored goals, so he had a hat trick recently.
Yeah,
Alex has become a speed skater. I mean, and Andrew's always improved. So, uh, having to play with a brother trio like that and seeing them be able to score goals and improve, that should help you as well too. What do you think? Obviously, you're competitive with the division. What do you think you guys need to be even more competitive? Maybe in the goal score. What do you think you need?
we sometimes have a hard time bringing it down the center. Yeah, I think someone who can actually just drive it to the goal.
Playmaker, possession driver. Oh, yeah.
Alex has gotten really good at that.
You added a guy just recently. It's just past this week actually. Adam Berger that might help you there as well too. So.
Yes, right. Yes, I heard he's joining our team. So
yeah, Adam Berger, he was going to be a D1 team, but they had too many players. So that hopefully will help you as well too. So. It should be a fun, competitive season for you guys as well too. You guys didn't have you lost week 1. It was a game where you played against I forgot who you played against, but you did drop your week 1 game. But you have 7 more games to go here. Tell me what in terms of locker room atmosphere when you guys play on the bench. What is it like to be a Capital?
Oh, it's actually really chill. Like we're just trying to have fun, making sure the lines are straight and just if sometimes we're down a person, so we just need to figure out like do we want like 3 rotating on D or 3 rotating on O, and just yeah. I mean, we cheer for everything. Like any time that anyone does a really nice poke check or like anything, so it's really fun.
You guys are a very supportive team, which is good to see as well too, from the standpoint of watching games or scoring games or refereeing games as well too. Let's talk about obviously we're all hockey fans here. Let's talk about hockey in general. We always ask this question of all our interviews. What is your favorite NHL team? And please don't say the Washington Capitals.
If they're not,
thank God! I'm tired of talking about the Capitals.
I mean, I'm not against them or anything. Glad they won the Stanley Cup, but I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan.
Montreal, you're a Habs fan.
I am a Habs.
Montreal. How'd you become a Habs fan?
My husband's from Montreal, so
Montreal, yes.
Rubbed off on me. So I only started watching and learning about hockey since I've met him. So I'm naturally a Habs fan. I also started following hockey during the lockout season.
Yes. Okay.
So that was really exciting because I could actually watch all the games because there are only like 48 of them, and I could follow the entire season without like spending so much time doing it. So I kind of missed.
How often do you go to games, or how often do you watch games now? Now you play roller, then you play ball hockey. Obviously, you're playing a sport that you like. How often do you guys now watch the big guys play, the big boys play?
Oh, they're really fun to watch. I love watching them play. Every time they come play the Caps, we definitely go. I watched other games because the company I worked at had like season tickets, and I would just go every so often. So that's fun. But now that GM's in Cary, we're like 3 miles from the Hurricane, so we like the day before Thanksgiving we're like, let's just go. Tickets were like $15, and it was
it's cheap down there. Yes,
it's a lot of fun.
Now,
actually, and getting there and parking, etc.
Let's talk about obviously your husband now. I believe he's moved, right? He's got a job in North Carolina. Is it North Carolina or South Carolina? North Carolina. Okay. So he's close to hurricane country, Carolina Hurricanes down in North Carolina. Are you looking to move down there? I think you're looking to move down there as well too, correct? So you could only have your short term here. Eventually, you could probably move down there. Am I correct on this?
Yeah, that's probably going to be the case for the next several months. That's not happening. I'm going to be working from here every other week and working down there every other week. So I'll definitely be around. I'm trying to schedule them around my games because I really enjoy playing. I know we have games on like Sundays and Mondays. Wednesdays. There's so many. Yeah.
Now, in terms of what do you do for a living? Get to know you. What is your career?
I'm a software engineer, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
probably why I'm allowed to work from home.
So you commute from home a lot more, right? You commute from there, right? So
Yeah.
that makes it easier for you as well too. Um, Also, in terms of John Michelle, what does he do?
These are good questions. He just
It's your
started
husband.
a couple weeks ago. I think his title is officially a research software developer.
Oh,
Some
same field.
sort of in the sense
Okay.
that he does programming, but different in the sense that maybe he uses more statistics than me. I use zero statistics, but anyways, I don't. Yeah, he tells me about his work, and I don't really understand all this.
All right. Are you a Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke. Okay. Rice or pasta?
You made it sound like that was the wrong choice.
No. I like Coke too.
Definitely
Rice. Rice. Yes. Rice. Okay. I'm a rice person. Late night owl or early bird?
Definitely a late night, which is the opposite of GM, which made it really hard for him to play ever. He just wants
Really?
to
Okay.
sleep at 10. And we have a lot of games at 10, which I enjoy. But
Yes, I think your team wanted late games at that season you guys joined on, so that's why probably the way it worked out there. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been fun talking to you. Obviously we'll hope not to lose you, but if we do lose you, hopefully you continue to play roller in Carolina somewhere. Maybe start a league down there, down there. Yeah, maybe start a league down there as well too, right? Get
thought
involved
about it. Carry on your traditions.
One more question here. I'm going to ask this question because we're talking about gender. Being a woman playing in our league, obviously, everybody's equal. We understand that, and RHL is gender free league. But we love to get more women involved in that. What would you tell women joining our league about not being intimidated in playing roller hockey? What would you say? What would your advice be?
I would say that most people, if not all, are very supportive of this, and they'll pass you, they'll give you opportunities, and they won't I know for a fact that a lot of people don't rush at me all the time immediately. Not to mention I'm considerably smaller as well, so they know they just give me time to do it. So there's a lot of opportunity to just practice and I take advantage of it, but just to go out there and have fun, and people are really supportive on the sidelines too, watching you grow. I don't know, it's very nice.
No, that's good. It's good to have that. We want to get more women involved as well too. Can join roller hockey if you can at RHL. Again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you on Monday nights. Don't go away, folks. As well, thank you for joining us on the RHL podcast. Roll with it. I've been Suds Chan here on this week of illness, trying to get through this podcast here. Thank you for joining us and watching this podcast with us. We'll see you after a 2-week break. We're taking a 2-week break after this podcast. We'll see you in January. Have a great holiday. And thanks for watching Roll With It. Take care, folks.
Bye.